music by Beth Crystal Beth, a woman I am fortunate to be good friends with. If you are anything like we are after the debates on Tuesday, you might be feeling some of that fury that needs to return to heart and become a love fury dance. And I was so moved by Beth this week. She posted on her Instagram this song, Mohai Ritual, that you can buy on Bandcamp. And she said, whew, if you, like me, watched the debates and it triggered your traumatic stress reaction because of bully tactics, then she says, maybe this will be of service. And I was so delighted because it is another person moving in their art and practice of movement for their own health. And she says, I put this on, this piece of music. I danced it out. I attempted to shake it out of my body, and I took deep breaths while doing absurd, deep squats and twitchy hand movements. And she said it helped a lot. And she encourages us to move it on through, because tomorrow you got to get back out there and work. And she wishes us all much love to keep going. And I want to invite you today to take all of that energy that you're feeling and move it out and return back to heart and have a love fury dance in heart. I myself, this is very personal, I have a family member who doubled down on their support for Trump and Trump policies. And it's hard to swallow sometimes. And I was interacting with my dear friend, Kimerer, who is a philosopher and a dancer. She wrote the book, Why We Dance. And an enormous amount of her scholarship was in Nietzsche. And Nietzsche's call for dance as vital to our humanity. And I saw a post of hers today where she was writing to her scholarly friends who are looking for timely teaching tools and not to forget Nietzsche's genealogy of morals, and that Nietzsche said, it is because of their impotence, that in them hatred grows to monstrous and uncanny proportions, to the most spiritual and poisonous kind of hate. And I responded to her and said, one of my family members, who she knows, has doubled down, and that's a hard one to swallow. And she reminded me, breathe, bring in space. And of course, the remedy, as she reads in Nietzsche, is to dance. And she said, for dancing stirs in us a sensory awareness of our visceral connection to the creative pulse of the earth, to the creative pulse of the earth. And my friend Beth is always talking about creativity as the source to overcoming any social problem. And she says, Kimerer says, and we grow stronger in our ability to digest and metabolize. That's a word that Reesma Menakem uses in his racial trauma work. To metabolize, to digest our experiences and love our enemies and have no need for hate, because we have got to come back into heart. This is me speaking now, into what I call the big love movement. And I don't believe in love as a sentiment and a weak, ineffective feeling, but as an evolutionary motion of overcoming and change and becoming and transforming and being reborn again and again and again. into those deep squats and twitchy hand motions every moment of the day. That it is a choice that we have to move and move and move again back into a furious love dance, and to not get stuck and impotent in fear that can turn into hatred and that creates more destruction and blocks the ability for more life, more well-being, more love, and ultimately more being for everyone. So if you want to take a few minutes today to start moving this anger and this rage and the triggers that maybe you have felt in your own traumas from the people in power in government or in your workplaces or in your families, and you want to get down into a deep low breath squat, twitchy hand motions, and be in this group heart, this worldwide web of the big love movement that Beth is connected to in the sounds that she's making, in the movements that I'm inviting you to join me in, and to listen through this facilitation into your own body, into your own movements. And I want you to find your base underneath you. And I want you to feel for yourself as a mountain. The mountain never changes. It could be stormy. It could be very, very quiet and cloudy and foggy, and there's no visibility, but the mountain is still the mountain. And I invite you into your mountain support, into your base, into your low, grounded squat connection to the earth, and using your breath to breathe. An active breath. Maybe you even want to in your space. Bring out your voice with Beth. Where's your holy yell? Your WHOLEY and your HOLY, your holy wisdom yell. And the fire of the rage and the heat, and that we want to kindle back into our heart. Maybe even shaking out the ribs, shaking and loosening the shoulders, and loosening the elbows and the fingers and the hands. The heart meridians in Chinese medicine run through the shoulders, out through the pinkies, connecting your pinkies, twitchy hand motions, being the witchy love, the wizard, tossing and releasing and inflaming and burning and casting out hate and bully energy and stoking from the deep places, the mountain where it began as the volcano, pulling through the core of the body, out through the heart, and through the hands. Stomping the feet, taking up space, standing with heart strong, feeling your back space, backed up by the infinite. Feel the light and the illumination and the mystery coming through you and through the holy heart. The WHOLE, holy, and HOLY, heart connected to the World Wide Web, pushing away the impotence, and pushing away and clearing space from the hatred. I invite you to take moments in these days ahead to cultivate a practice. Maybe you need to fan the air around you. Find your mountainous base and fan and move the air and create wind. Inside and out, there's no difference. Know that what happens inside of you is connected to outside, and that you, when you're impacted by the outside, can change it from the inside. That was good for me. Thank you, Beth. Thank you, Kimerer. We got this. We can do this. We can get through this. We can keep evolving, even if we get a new leadership in all of our different spaces and workplaces and sectors of life. It still calls all of us to make the transformational changes in our bodies, the healing of racialized traumas, the actions of complicity and impotence and obstructions that we may actually have in our own bodies. And it is calling to us to tap into and feel for ourselves deeply within inside what is happening in the whole body self, to come into the holy wisdom of the movements that we need to be making and generating and cultivating and practicing on a daily basis. With a great big movement of love, I am here with you in this. Let's dance.